Welcome. Forgive me for not standing up, but these old bones, it is painful. I mean no disrespect. In fact, I'm quite happy to have you here. Thank you. Yes, that home, God has blessed me with a comfortable and fine home. So let me not keep you. I have much writing to do, and I'm sure that you have things you would rather do than spend your time with an old man. This, so I guess I should properly introduce myself. I am the Reverend Cotton Mather. I suppose you've been exposed to some of my writing. So I am, both of my grandfathers were ministers, highly esteemed. My father has surpassed them in the love of the people, which has left me here, I fear. So, let me get to it. I hear that you've expressed an interest in my ministry and my philosophy on ministry, and while I have written literally hundreds of pages on that, there are a few base truths that we should be able to cover in just a few moments. Base truth number one is that Satan is always at work. It's clear now, these times of illness and death, this horrid disease, this smallpox that is running through our fine city, is the fingerprint of Satan. And then, of course, even greater manifestations occurred some years back in Salem. So, we as ministers must, of course, keep the people aware of the dangers of the evil. We must also, of course, constantly and without fail, always appeal to the logic in God's Word, the logic of man. Always appeal to the logic over emotion. It is a very clear choice. There is good and there is evil. It is that simple. Now there are others. Roger Williams, you may have heard of his name, his followers, these Baptists, these people who argue that it is the free will of man that is to be accentuated. It appeals to emotion. It's all man-centered. You must keep it God-centered. God has ordered the world. God has ordered mankind. And I mean ordered as in put them in order, as in organized. And so it is our job to teach our congregations, our followers, our people, what is God's order. And how does a select, a saved man live his life? Look, we as educated people, right, have other followings, but that to me is what is central and core. Always logic over emotion. We must, of course, from time to time, you may have heard in Salem of this fellow Burroughs who claimed to be a man of the cloth, a man of God. This man was clearly a demon, had been possessed and made a deal with Satan, as Satan not very often is not the prince of darkness masqueraded as a man of light. And it was my job to destroy that evil. And you may be called upon it to do so as well, as there's many forces out there. And finally, in terms of God's organization of the world, it is our job to help our people understand. Yes, for reasons that we may not even understand, God has sent this curse, this smallpox, upon our people. But if we look, God has also given us a blessing, a gift, an inoculation, the ability to take a man who has a very minor occurrence or modest occurrence of this, to take the poison from under his blisters and to put that in our own system, that we may get the minor version of the smallpox and not get the deadly major version. This is what we are supposed to be doing. So please, for other details, feel free. Any one of my 400 books or pamphlets are here to be for you, right? But we are in God's organized world. He knew everything that was to happen beforehand, and we are to use everything in our power to help enlighten those who would do well for God. This, of course, is the role of science, the education system. So, I'm sure you've had quite enough of this old man today. Thank you for your time.